Hi, it's Pray You. Today is Monday, May 23rd. I put out a video yesterday about my daughter going through TSA out of Ontario, California, through the airport and her experience with them. And I'm going to do her statement now. She did send it to me. It's in segments. It's the only way I was able to do the recording through voicemail. But I will go ahead and put these on with her permission, and I'll put it together for you. I'll go ahead and start it off with her first one that I did get yesterday and include the others. But here you go.
So, I was trying to go through the security and it was awful. But they wouldn't let me on my phone, so I couldn't do anything about it until now. So I guess I'll just talk to you later because I have to get on my plane soon. But you're here for like the next 10 minutes and give me a call. Alright, love you. Bye. On Friday, I went from the El Paso Airport in Texas to Ontario, and while going through the security checkpoint, I was asked to go through the body scanner. I told them no, and so the guy was like, oh, take a step back, she's opting out, and yada yada. So I kind of put my hands up, and I was like, okay, I took my step back, and I agreed to do the pat down just so I could get, to my flight and get to California because it was my friend's wedding that week. And the pat down itself was actually not that bad. It wasn't very invasive, and, it was actually okay. The girl was nice about it, and I didn't feel violated, but it's still the point that they have to do these pat downs. Well, then, when I came back on Sunday, I went from the Ontario, California airport to El Paso. And originally, when I left my mom, and of course I had to go up the escalator, and I had to leave her there, so I get to the security checkpoint, and they had closed off the body scanners. So I thought I'd be able to just walk through the metal detectors. But as I got up and put my stuff in the bins, I put my coat, my bags, my shoes, everything was inside the bins. And I pushed it through, and they opened up the body scanners, and they were trying to make me go through it, and I told them no, that I wasn't going to do that. So because I had opted out of the body scanner, they had me step to the side, and they told me that I was going to have to do the pat down. Well, of course, when they said that, I was like, no, you're not going to be touching me either. I'm not going to agree to this, because before I had gotten on the plane, I had told my mom that I was not going to let them touch me. So at this point, I have the TSA members telling me that, well, you have three options. One, you go through the body scanner. Two, you can get the pat down. Or three, I can leave and be escorted out, as if I'm some sort of criminal. Because as soon as you decline that body scanner or a pat down, you are automatically a person of interest. Even though I am a 19-year-old female, and I'm not wearing anything baggy. Everything is tight-fitted. I'm wearing cropped jeans and a pair of sparkly Toms. But I'm a person of interest, And so I got frustrated. I was like, well, no, I'm not going to miss my flight, but you're not going to touch me. So I wanted my phone, but they wouldn't give it to me since it had gone through the bin. Of course, I'm yelling at them, and I'm making a huge scene in front of everybody at the airport. And I was yelling, telling them, no, you need to give me my phone. And the main TSA member who came over to talk to me was telling me that, well, you know what, you can't have your phone because you've already started the process. But I told him, I said, of course I've already started the process because I can't even get up to this final, checkpoint unless I put all of my stuff inside the bins. You can't have your phone, your keys, nothing like that. So, of course, and they would not give it to me no matter how many times I asked, no matter how much I yelled, they wouldn't give it back. And so I was really upset because I couldn't make any phone calls. I didn't know what to do. And so I was telling them, you know what, even in Texas, they're trying to make it a law to where they can't, do these pat-downs because they're considered molestation, and they should be. I told him, it's not that I'm embarrassed to go through this body scanner or, even to be patted down. It's not that. It's the fact that it's wrong. They are stripping you of your freedoms and your rights. As the people, we are the people in the Constitution. It's not about the government. It's not about TSA members for some power grab. It's about we, the people. And apparently people don't get that. So people are still going through these body scanners as they're passing me by. Everyone's quiet and listening to me. And as people start to walk by, I'm like, why? Why are you going through this body scanner, Putting it to them as a question. Because apparently people are just saying, well, okay, it's fine. Go ahead, take a picture of me. And this is what I was telling the TSA members. That everybody's just so fine. We're just going up there and saying, yeah, go ahead, take a picture of me. Let everybody look at my naked body. Yeah, go ahead. Touch me, pat me down. And it's not supposed to be like that. And that's what I was telling them. That's what I was yelling to everyone. Not just TSA, but to everybody that was in line. But this is wrong. And, of course, now I have, still those 4 people surrounding me, plus there are more, and they're all, kind of standing there, laughing and smirking. And one of the guys, he was standing literally in the way of the body scanner, and he just looked at me, this TSA member, young guy, and I asked him point blank, I said, tell me this. Do you do this every morning? Are you patted down to make sure that you don't have explosives or bombs or any kind of, weapon on you? And he just smiled. I said, exactly. I said, I don't think you go through any of this crap. And I was like, and look at everybody else walking through that metal detector. What about them? I was like, you're not checking their bags. So that's another thing. If you opt out of that body scan, your bags are pulled to the side and they look through them. They did that when I left the El Paso airport and even this time from the Ontario airport. Well, I'm just getting so upset and so frustrated because they were telling me, well, we're going to call the police and, we can escort you out and yada yada. So at this point, I only had, just a little bit of time before we started to board. And I finally said, fine, just do it then. Just pat me down. Well, then, of course, when they pull you to the side to pat you down, they ask you, are there any sensitive areas? And I said, of course. And what are you talking about? I said, you won't be touching my groin. You won't touch my breast. But, of course, they don't care. She laughed when I said that. And I said, that's funny? Because, of course, I'm going to tell them no. What else am I supposed to say? And she got ready to do the pat down, put a pair of new gloves on. And next thing you know, she's sitting here patting me down like I've never had a pat down before. She was being completely rough. She was being rude. She was giving me this pat down. She's got a smile on her face. She's being extremely rough. And then on top of that, I have another TSA member standing directly in front of me, another one standing behind them with my bag, and then another one off to the side who was standing there, being like the little watch guard. That's how I felt. Like they were all just kind of surrounding me, making sure that I didn't do something wrong. And, then she goes and she says, well, I'm going to reach inside your waistband. And so I already wear low-rise jeans. So she's sticking her hand inside my pants all the way around. And when I left the El Paso airport on Friday, they didn't do this. The woman said that she was just going to feel around my waistband. That was a whole other issue. But this was a lot bigger to me because it's like you're literally sticking your hands inside my pants all the way around. If that's not molestation, I don't know what is. And people may not view it that way. They may think, oh, this is our safety. And that's such crap. That's total and complete crap. And I don't know how anyone can put up with this. Letting it happen to children, and even that mentally disabled boy who was like stranger danger because, these people were touching him. And I don't know why anyone thinks it's okay, because it's not okay. And that was my whole point of saying no, was so that way I could stand up for what I believe in. And once again, like I said before, it's not about being embarrassed. Because I know there are people that are like, well, it's no big deal. Just go through the scanner. What do you care? You know, I don't care. Well, it's not about you. It's about our nation as a whole. The fact that, you know, we have rights. That's what, you know, that's what the Constitution was for. To make sure that the government didn't have the control, that the people had the control. And we don't. These TSA members, they think they have all the control in the world and the government. And we're sitting back like, yeah, it's okay. But even with these pat-downs, why bother asking me if there are any sensitive areas? My whole body is a sensitive area. You shouldn't be touching me or anyone else. And that's my whole point. And just the fact that I had to do that was beyond ridiculous. The fact that anyone has to do it is ridiculous. So I don't even know what to say. That whole thing was just awful, an awful experience. And no one should have to go through that. A few things that I forgot to mention were the fact that after they give you this pat down, they actually, once their gloves are still on, but they take a swab and they wipe their gloves to test for explosives. And that's a complete joke, you know, because they've already checked your bags. They checked you, but it's like, hey, let's check for explosives too. And it even says right on there, explosives, like they want you to know what they're testing for. And also, before I had, you know, while I was still on the other side of the line, before I got the pat down, you know, I had told them that here in Texas, they're trying to make it a law that they can't do these supposed pat downs because they'll be considered molestation, which they are. And then, and I also forgot to mention this too, was before I actually got the actual pat down, they asked me, would you like a private room? We have a private room over there, you know, if you would like that. Well, why on earth would I like that? A private room to do what? What are you going to do? You're just supposed to be patting me down? I mean, they wouldn't need a private room if it was going to be that bad. And I think that that's ridiculous. That tells you something right there. You need to pay more attention. And, you know, I look back at it now, and I honestly feel that I made a mistake. I should have told them, no, I'm not doing this, you know, because this is wrong. But I was not prepared for that kind of intimidation. Now, of course, looking back, I would say, yeah, you know what, go ahead. Escort me out. Fine, do it. I don't care. You know, because I'm not going to put up with this. This is wrong. But unfortunately, like I said, I was not prepared for that kind of intimidation. I have all those people surrounding me, you know, hovering over me. And I don't know. I wish I had pushed to have my phone. Because if I'm on that side of the line, then I should be able to have my stuff. Because technically I haven't gone through the actual checkpoint yet. So they should give me my things back. And they didn't do that either. And I would have definitely approached it differently. But when you pay $560 for your ticket, it also weighs on you a little bit too. Because it's like, well, I paid so much money, you know. Then I have a morning flight. You know, we drove so far to the airport that I didn't have time to eat. And it was just a mess. And honestly, looking back, I would change it. But I hope that I got the point through to someone, at least someone. And even right now, recording this, I hope that someone else gets it. Because we have to stop this.
Well, thanks for watching, you guys. This is Pray EO, and this was my daughter's account of the TSA experience on Sunday, May 22nd at the Ontario Airport TSA counter. I did tell my daughter that I was really proud of her for having the guts to stand up to these guys to begin with. And those naysayers out there say, well, she didn't say anything, she wouldn't have had these problems. It's a bigger problem than what you see on the surface. This thing goes way deeper than that. And I really wish more people would start standing up to these guys and saying no. There's some groups out there that are doing it, some people that are doing it, and I really commend all of you guys. Thank you. This affects all of us. And these knuckleheads that are doing these type of scans and having these smug attitudes, they don't realize this crap's going to come back on them. And it's going to, and their families. The sad thing is they take advantage of your time and the money spent on these tickets and going to the airport. And if you're going to the airport, they know that you have somewhere to be. You know, so it's an abuse of power. But keep in mind that famous quote from Benjamin Franklin about trading a little liberty for safety. If you're going to be willing to do that, you deserve no safety and you deserve no liberty. And they are taking our liberties away. Just don't be afraid to speak up. I know these people are intimidating, but we are meant to question everything. We are meant to test everything. It's up to us to keep this country going in a good direction, and if we allow our leaders to continue doing this, it's only going to come back and bite us in the you-know-where. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, don't trust one person, one source. Do your research. Take care, guys, and God bless.